What is going on, guys? It is me, Poetic Whisper, and today I'm going to be uploading my Call of Duty World War II Beta Extravaganza blah, 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 review, I guess. It's sort of a review. It's more of like just me telling you everything that's really bad about the game, because there's a lot. And I know it's a beta, just for clarification, before somebody comes in here and says, you know, well, it's just a beta. You can't say anything bad about a beta because it's a beta. It's not done. No, motherfucker, it's a beta. This is the prime time to let your thoughts be known about a beta, because a beta is pre-release software. Technically, it's pre-release because it's not done. It's not pre-release as in they released it early. It's a beta, which is pre-release software because it was released, well, this weekend. So, either way, I have some thoughts here about the beta, and you'll be seeing gameplay in the background. For fair warning, I haven't played a Call of Duty game since Black Ops 2, because they've all been shit. So if the gameplay is a little shit, then you know why. So let's get right into it. First things first, I'm not gonna sit here and say that, you know, the game copied Battlefield, because I'm not retarded. As many of you may know, my channel has a lot of Battlefield on it, and it has for a long time. And if you go back, God forbid you go back to my early days, you'll know that I played a lot of Black Ops 1, because that was the best Call of Duty game, and that might rustle some people's feathers, but that was the best Call of Duty game, in my opinion, of course. But not many games have been able to hold up to that standard since, and it's kind of upsetting. Let me start off by saying that, you know, I'm not going to compare it too much to Battlefield. I don't think that Call of Duty copied Battlefield by going back in time. That's just ridiculous. And I know the difference between World War II and World War I, and they're pretty drastic, so yeah, no, I don't know why there are a lot of Battlefield fanboys posting about that sort of thing. So let's get right into it. First things first, the maps are fucking terrible. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, oh, you know, they could just fix it if they do like a proper 3-lane sort of thing. No, the maps are just bad. They're not good. I think in this gameplay, I don't even know the fucking map names. The first match here, I was playing on some trench map. It was alright, honestly. Like, I mean, it's probably the best map out of all of them in this beta. There's a city map, which it's like Arc, I don't even know. It starts with an A, I think. And that's fucking head glitch central. It's terrible. You can't turn any corner without being sniped or fucking shot at by a guy who's sitting behind a fucking block with his head buried behind cover, but, you know, still somehow is shooting over cover. You know, something that they've never fixed ever, because why would they? Because it's Call of Duty, they don't fix anything. I remember, I said I wasn't going to compare it to Battlefield, but I remember back in the day, I believe it was Battlefield 3, they had the same issue where if you were shooting on your screen and you were aiming your reticle or your iron sights over cover, your bullets would essentially come out of your sight and not your barrel. That was changed because head glitching fucking sucks. And yet still, somehow, some way, it still exists in Call of Duty. And it's fucking ridiculous. And that city map I was telling you about is a prime example of why head glitching is the worst. It also reminds me that sniper rifles in this game are also ridiculous. I know there's people out there who advocate for Battlefield or any other first-person shooter that doesn't have body shot one-hit kills, that they should. Fuck you. They should definitely not. They should never have that, because this game, and you'll see it in the second gameplay, the snipers in this game are just insta-kill. It don't fucking matter. And half the time, you don't even fucking know that you're shot. Because, boom, you get shot in the back, one-hit kill. There ain't nothing you can do about it. But, I mean, of course, they're going to cater to the people like, you know, the quick scopers or whatever. The sniping community. And fucking make the snipers one-hit kills because they get hit markers. They're going to cry about it online. So, here's me crying about it online. Fix that shit. The fucking sniper shouldn't be one-hit killing to, like, the upper chest and the whatever. Maybe the upper chest. But not everywhere on the body. Alright? It's ridiculous. And that is to say, if any of your bullets actually hit the enemy, because that's the second thing on my list of things that are terrible. But we're gonna get there in a second. The rest of the maps, Gibraltar's terrible. Just a bad map. It's completely one-sided. One side has a fucking height advantage, and if you have that side, then you almost are guaranteed a win unless your team actually flanks, which is ridiculous. Why would anybody flank in a game? Like I said, the trench map's alright. And Ardennes Forest is pretty meh as well, and it looks really bad on the Xbox One. I don't know if it's the same on the PlayStation. But like the fire has the same amount of pixels as like a fucking Minecraft fire when you look at it in the trees. It looks terrible. So yeah. The maps are just, they're not good. I don't know what else they're going to have in store when the game drops, of course, because this is just 4 maps, but so far the maps are not a strong show. There's so many like paths and ways you can take that you get shot in the back more times than not, and I don't know if that's to cater to the more casual audience or whatever, but like if I'm trying to hold a line and push forward, I shouldn't be constantly berated by being shot in the back. That's something that didn't happen too often in, you know, other games. I feel like it's something that happens so often in just this Call of Duty. I don't know, of course, how, like, you know, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, or Infinite Warfare, Ghosts, or any of those fucking games, however they worked when it came to being shot in the fucking back. But in World War II, it's exhausting how many times you get shot in the stupid fucking back. Ugh. Also, for clarification, I realize I suck in this game, and that's because I haven't played since Black Ops 2. So, sorry if this sounds like I'm just bitching because I suck at the game, but I really don't care to get better at it because I'm probably never gonna buy the fucking game after playing this beta. Which sucks because I was kind of looking forward to it because I like the historical settings in games, but this just didn't do it for me so far. The hit detection's it's terrible. You're gonna see it multiple times in this gameplay, and especially on the final kill cam on the game on Gibraltar, where I get sniped and the guy who fucking quickscopes me was not anywhere near my body when he shot in that kill cam. And it's fucking ridiculous. Like, you'll spray into enemies with an LMG, and yet you'll just bullets will fucking go left, right, and wherever, but they won't go center. And if they do, they just bounce off the enemy and they get 100 hit markers because the SMGs are more powerful than any gun in the game, even a fucking MG42. Or MG, I don't even know, is it MG42? I think it is. It's ridiculous. The hit detection's terrible, and I know it's a beta, and they can fix it, but the thing is they use P2P servers, and they've been doing that since the beginning of time, and every single year they say, you know, this game's gonna have dedicated servers, and yet we still don't have dedicated servers. You see, the thing is World War II is gonna have dedicated servers for that fucking, the headquarters. They'll have dedicated servers for that because I can't see that working on anything other than a dedicated server, but they're not going to have them for the multiplayer matches. That's just not how they roll. And as long as P2P exists, things like host advantage, things like fucking lag, and your bullets being shit, and your netcode being shit, and being killed around corners, that's just something that's going to happen. it doesn't matter that it's in beta right now. Of course, they can fix, I guess, the issues with hit detection by making some sort of lag compensation or some bullshit that they've been spewing out for the last couple of years. But the thing is every game in this genre have been moving to dedicated servers. Why is it that Call of Duty cannot fucking do it? It's not that hard. You have the money, Activision. Invest in dedicated servers and save your shitty ass hit detection. It's god awful in this fucking game. Number 3 on the list, since we're already at 10 minutes and I only recorded like 20 minutes of footage, so I need to hurry up. The M1 Garand probably is the best gun sound in the game, and that's mostly just because of the ping it makes when you reload, because that sounds really good. Everything else just sounds meh, which is weird because Black Ops 2 I felt really boosted the audio in a way. I mean, the gun sounds didn't sound great, but they were bassy, and they at least sounded like they had some echo. The guns in this game sound like shit. They sound like paintball guns. I don't understand why they took so many steps forward with Black Ops 2's audio and then took so many steps back in a game where they keep saying, you know, we're going back to our roots, you know, it's going to be gritty, it's going to be realistic, and yet still we sit here with these god-awful gun sounds. I don't feel like I'm shooting an M1 Garand. I feel like I'm shooting a fucking pellet gun. Alright? I don't feel like I'm shooting an MG42. I don't feel like I'm shooting a fucking anything. A Thompson, nothing. Because the sounds are terrible. They're terrible. And the suppressor sounds the exact same sound for every single gun. It doesn't matter which one you're using. I mean, granted, you can only, I believe you can only stick a suppressor on the SMGs because you have to be in the airborne division, I think. So, I could be wrong. I'm only like a level 13 or something, so I don't have most of my attachments unlocked for guns, so whatever. But it's the exact same sound. Doesn't matter what gun it's on. It's, you know, it's just gonna make the same pew 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 sound, which is whatever. You know, you're catering to people, I guess, who don't care. So who cares? Moving on, spawn killing. It's pretty fucking bad, which can be remedied. I'm not saying that it's gonna stay the same way, but the maps at the moment are so goddamn tiny that spawn killing is pretty much just gonna happen. It's almost inevitable. You're gonna see it in this Gibraltar gameplay, and it's my fault that I kept running back into the room to try to kill this guy who was like 17-0 at some point, but he was just sitting in our spawn, you know. He was one of the 3 lanes, because 3-lane Call of Duty maps are the best things in the world. And he's just gonna fucking shit all over me because he's better at the game than me, and that's fine, but you know, taking advantage of spawns and whatever is something that people shouldn't be able to do. And that's that. They're still not as bad as Modern Warfare 3 spawns, but they're still pretty shit. It doesn't feel like a World War II game. It feels weird. Like, it's the thing about World at War is it felt like a World War II game. This game feels too clean. I don't know how to explain it with words. Just something you need to see or feel for yourself. I mean, they did good with the kill streaks, and you know, I think that they were good because, you know, World at War just had the 3. You know, this is the first Call of Duty game to have, you know, multiple kill streaks that you can choose, but it's set in World War II. So, you know, in World at War you had the UAV and the airstrike and the dogs, and that's fine. And in this game, so far the kill streaks are fine. You know, you got the glide bomb, which is cool. You got, you know, your UAV, Molotovs, which aren't that great. Flamethrower, which is a cool idea for a kill streak. You know, mortar teams or whatever, those are good. I mean, the kill streaks are fine. I don't think you can really change them. The paratroopers are a unique idea, but at the moment they're almost impossible to get if you're playing like team deathmatch or whatever. It takes like 5 kills to get a UAV, which is just ridiculous. I don't like the score streak system. I never have. I just think kill streaks are better. People don't fucking play the objective anyway, and the score streaks aren't helping, so I think kill streaks coming back would be just make it better. But again, it just doesn't feel like a World War II game. You know, World at War had like all the different theaters of war. All the maps looked destroyed and hellish, and it felt dirty and gritty and realistic in a sense anyway. You had big maps with tanks even, and that shit was good. I don't know, like it 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. World at War was so good. It was so good, and they just fucking whatever this is just doesn't feel like a World War II game. And that maybe that's because of the scenery. Maybe that's because, you know, they just didn't bother to put a swastika in the game. And I'm not going to harbor on this for too long because, you know, I realize that it's sort of a sensitive subject, but the lack of swastikas in the game is bullshit. And anybody who defends it is just sucking the cod cock, honestly. It's stupid that they're not there, and no, I know they'll be in the single player, but who the fuck? Like, I can't imagine fighting Germans in a World War II game where they're not wearing the classic swastika on their arm. They're not, you know, the maps in fucking Germany don't have swastikas anywhere. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? It's ridiculous. It doesn't feel like a World War II game. If you go and watch any World War II documentary, fucking Nazi Germany is full, littered with swastikas on every little thing. And the fact that they're just gonna keep it out, and what's funny enough is they're calling the zombies Nazi zombies, but they're not Nazis because they don't have swastikas. They're not referred to Nazis in the multiplayer. They're referred to the Axis, which is fine, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't feel good. The graphics are pretty shitty. It's a game that came out in 2017, or will be coming out in 2017, and it looks terrible. I don't understand why Call of Duty has not upgraded their engine since 2005. It's the same engine they used for Call of Duty 2. There's been 12 games since then with the same engine. It's ridiculous. They haven't upgraded shit. They told people that they had a whole new engine for fucking Ghosts, and they didn't. It's just an upgraded version of the IW engine, and I get it. You know, don't break what ain't, or don't fix what's not broken, but it's fucking broken. It doesn't look good. It's not up to today's standards, and I know graphics don't make a game, alright? But there's a difference between a stylized game and a game that's supposed to look realistic, but just doesn't because the fucking developers are either lazy or they're just not good enough to come up with an engine that's gonna work for their game. Because why would they spend money on a new engine when they can just use the same one? Because people don't care! And to wrap it up on a high note, I think the game is okay. Even despite all the shit that I just talked about it in this video, I think it's okay. I'm probably not going to buy it. I think that a lot of these issues probably won't be fixed. And I don't know, man. It's just not for me anymore. Call of Duty's just, it just belongs in the past for me. And I'm just going to continue to play Battlefield or whatever else first-person shooter crops up into my life. But I was really hoping that with the historical setting they would step it up, and they haven't really stepped it up. If there's one thing I can say that I do really enjoy about the game, it's the gore. It's not as good as World at War's gore because you could blow people's heads off with shotguns in that game. But when you get blown up by a cruise missile or artillery or whatever else, it's pretty brutal. There's a lot of blood splatter, which is good. Your body gets fucking covered in blood if you get shot with a shotgun. Again, it doesn't blow your fucking chest apart like it does in World at War, but it does look good. And I wish, you know, I wish even Battlefield would have something like that. But yeah, I don't know, man. If I had to rate the beta, I'd probably give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. I think it could be way better, and I feel like Sledgehammer are kind of just, I don't know, man. They say they're into it. They say that they really wanted to make this game, but so far I have yet to see anything that proves what they were saying. And it sucks, and I want it to be good, not just for me, but for everyone who enjoys Call of Duty still. But it just doesn't seem like it's in the cards today. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. I realize that this may be a controversial video, or a video that nobody gives a shit about, but I felt it my duty because this is the first Call of Duty game that I've been excited for somewhat for the last 5 years, and it's just sort of disappointing. So yeah, thanks for watching. Leave your comments down below. I realize I ran in circles a lot during this video and probably contradicted myself a couple of times, so I'm sure if this video even gets out there that people will correct me or tell me I'm a fanboy or whatever the fuck. Argue amongst yourself in the comments. I don't give a shit. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.